lovelies, and welcome back to this channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Strana. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload a video, you will be the first person to be notified. And to my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos and also educate I, you guys are the real MVP. Alright, lovelies, let's dive into
Lovely.
today's
I came
video.
across this video on my For You page on TikTok, and I thought to share with you guys because I found this super, interesting and educative one at that, where this sister, actually have a message for those kind of anti-racist people that repented. I'm just gonna roll her clip as well as some of the section because she actually shared a story that, oh my god, you have to listen to it. Please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video, and do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying, harassment, and whatsoever. Alright, lovelies, let's dive into it.
Right now, there's been a lot of white influencers who are getting exposed for their racist pasts, and I have a different think piece that I want to share with you all, but specifically these women getting exposed, since I feel like it's a bit of a different perspective than other people have been sharing. My name is Alexis. I went to a high school with predominantly white people. Some of these people have actually gained their own platforms on apps like this since high school. So I wanted to share my story specifically because I'm a good representation of the kind of lives you guys destroy with your racism. Growing up, my sisters and I faced horrible racism from people that would now say that they are anti-racist, that they are vehemently against racism, but that doesn't change our childhood. We've experienced things like getting photos drawn of us by our classmates with them pointing weapons against our heads. We'd have football games where the students would make the theme whiteout and write posts like wear your natural skin color, or when our games were in predominantly black areas, they would make the theme riot shields and police gear. One time I had to sit in an auditorium of my class chanting Bob Ewell, the name Bob Ewell, which is the character in To Kill a Mockingbird that lynches the black character, and that was the book that we were reading in school at the time. I'm still clearly very traumatized by this. I've had people call me names and draw parallels to me and the black victims of unarmed shootings by the police at the time. One time I walked into lunch a little bit late. Right where I sat on my lunch table, there was a swastika drawn on my seat, and this happened like every day for a week. And it's like I was terrified to go to school almost every day. This was also during like a period of time where there was a lot of mass shootings going on in America. And I can't even describe to you the terror and anxiety. Like every day I was having a mental breakdown and having to go to the nurse's office. Every day I had to go to the principal's office and like report a new thing for them not to do anything. I even had to go all the way to going to the police because people were calling me slurs and threatening my life. And no one ever did anything because racism is not taken seriously. By white people especially. Racism is just not taken seriously at all. I'm very grateful that nothing happened to me, that everything was all just talk or just to terrorize black people, I guess. But what people don't talk about and realize is like how that will affect you emotionally as a person. Like I think what happened to me as a young child has impacted my life so deeply, so emotionally. Like I feel so emotionally terrorized. You can see it, hear it in my voice, and I will never be the same. It has affected every relationship I've ever had, the relationship that I have with myself, the way that I see myself, and the way that I think other people see me. It's truly, I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. It's something that I'm gonna live with forever, and it's so heavy, so heavy. And I think just the message that I want to say about situations like these of just like white people being racist in their childhood as like a phase, you affect real people, and you being racist puts such a trauma onto the people of color in your life that they're going to have to deal with every single day until they die. What that means is if you have to apologize or feel guilty or feel like shit every single day for the rest of your life for this racism that you grew out of, that is what you deserve. If you're a white person and you're looking into my eyes right now, hopefully you can see the pain of what your racism in childhood, how that impacts real life black people, because it's like racism is not just a concept, it's a thing that you are employing onto a real person. I hope that you feel guilty for the rest of your life, because I feel traumatized and emotionally vulnerable for the rest of my life, and I didn't deserve that. So much of the conversation has shifted into these white people. Oh, they've grown, they've changed, they see the importance of Black Lives Matter, they went out and protested, they donate money, they've educated themselves. And that's great, and that's so important, and I hope that this message doesn't detract from the fact that we should be doing that. We should all be learning more to educate and rewire our brains out of, these racist thinking and tendencies that we have. But along with that message, I hope you know that if you feel guilty forever, if people out here are making you feel guilty about these things that you've said for the rest of your life, that is justified. Because we are going to feel this way because of your racism that you have now grown out of. We were the collateral damage of that, and we are going to feel this way forever. I'm very glad that you've changed and you've learned and you feel like you are a newer, better person now. But whenever you get frustrated or upset for people bringing up things that you've done in the past that were racist, that were unkind, and you're like, oh, why can't people just let this go? Like, I've addressed this once. Can we shut it down? No, we should be able to address it forever. Forever. And you're just going to have to live with that. You have to live with the fact that your racism impacts other people for the rest of your life. It's not something that should even be done begrudgingly. Like, you should do that with as much ease as you were to be racist when you were younger. That's the least that you can do to be accountable for your actions and the way that you hurt other people. Because the frustration that you maybe feel from people bringing up the unsavory parts of your past, the parts that you feel like you've grown out of, it's nowhere near the frustration that I feel for having to go through that due to people like you. Thank you for hearing me out. I hope you feel bad about what you did forever.
Please go back and look at her whole video, because it is important for the message that she is trying to get across to seep into those non-blacks that have decided now they are no longer racist and they want to turn over a new leaf. I think that people forget that when you've changed your life, that you still have done the things prior to your change, and that does not negate them nor absolve you of those things. Too often people tend to believe that being apologetic is enough, and it's not even a stretch of the amount of what needs to be done to rectify a situation. We as black people are the only ones that are being told that that's in the past, to get over something. And I'm tired of everybody acting like they're just so lost on this reparations talk and where it is coming from, because nobody is dense or dumb. They just want us to continue to feel bad about feeling like we needed to be treated the same way any other race people that have been given injustices in this system. As black people, we have to face racism from every other group of people and get it rationalized once they decide they don't feel this way anymore. But that's really not enough. Just as the little mini experiment that Jane Elliott tried to perform showed blatantly how none of you people, regardless if you decided I don't see color or not, would trade a day in the life of a black person. And that speaks volumes as to your lie that you say racism does not still exist. Racism isn't real anymore, and why can't people get over it? Because the truth of the matter and fact of the matter is, none of you would trade lives with black people, because you understand that in the system that is designed for this worldwide, black people are the main persons that people are allowed to discriminate against, and they can find rhyme or reason for why the person did not know they were doing anything wrong, and it doesn't make any sense. To say that you don't see color, that you're not racist because you don't actively participate in racist acts, to say that there is racism but there are things that you're going to just have to get over, all in itself is encompassed in racism. There is no way to exist in a world full of color and then say that you don't see it, attempting to make black people and people of color, but technically more so blacks, feel better about allowing you into their spaces. Because the difference is, as the experiment that she tried to perform makes clear, every single day that you wake up, you have this, we have this, and there's nothing we can do about it, because just like we see it in that mirror, so do you. You see your whiteness, and if you didn't see it, then when someone asks you how many of you in here will be willing to trade a day in the life of a black person to be black for just one day, and none of you stood up. If you didn't see color, the whole room would have stood up. It's time out for white people that are now trying to say, but not me, not all white people. Show it instead of just saying that, because it doesn't accomplish anything to be saying, I'm not this, I'm not that. It does not accomplish anything to do video after video. It does not accomplish anything until what you are doing is action bound. When you're actively doing something, not just speaking about it, because we can do all the speaking we need on our own. We don't need your help to speak for us. We need your actions to show it, and we need y'all to be real about the fact that y'all know we are owed reparations, that y'all know that this system needs to be redesigned to stop automatically feeling like black people are always the culprit, and so it's okay to target us. We're victims in this system. Sorry. I'm so frustrated. Like, we're victims over and over and over again. That's all we are in this system. And it gets treated like we're attempting to be them, and we're not. We're trying so hard to say to you people, if you're not here to help us, just leave us alone. Because too many of our children have this reality that this young lady is speaking. Too many of us and our children have had to live in this system where we had to go to school, where kids were allowed to mock and ridicule us. And we went to these people that were supposed to be helping us, but because they looked just like the ones that were doing it, we were exaggerating. We were saying too much. We were too sensitive. And it's just not okay. Thankfully, these girls were not physically harmed ever, but quite a few, many of our children in this oppressive society have gotten into situations where these non-black kids are doing whatever they want to them, and they're getting basically slaps on the wrist because they're not getting expelled from school, they're not getting reprimanded in school, and a lot of the times, the child that is complaining is the one that's suffering the most as far as discipline, and it makes no sense. I veered a bit off from her video, but the point that I'm trying to make is it's time for non-black people that have decided they no longer have their racist views and tendencies and that they want to be an ally. Get your asses out there on the front lines and deal with the fact that you're going to get some ridicule and you're going to get treated horribly for things that you did in your past. You don't get to say, but that's not who I am anymore, because that's not how this thing works. Most all of us have a past that could possibly come back and haunt us, so we got to deal with it, like men and women. We don't get to cower behind the fact of, that's not how I am anymore. Because if you can't stand on everything you've ever said and find a way to say why you did it, then you're the clown. Let's be real. You could always say, it's the way I was raised, and I realized that it was not right, and now I'm going to stand on doing everything right from here on out to make it right. Not keep saying, but it wasn't my family, and I did this, and I did that, because it's time for you white people that love to say you don't understand what your privilege is to stop the madness. Stop it. Because again, as another famous white ally has said, no one's saying about, and I'm paraphrasing, you being born with a silver spoon in your mouth and all white people are rich and have everything made for them and that they're never going to suffer from anything that the society just faces against everyday people. No one's saying that about you. That's not what the privilege is. The privilege is that you wake up every day with that skin and you don't have to worry about walking on your porch step and seeing someone being gunned down, someone being harassed by the police, getting in your vehicle and not knowing if someone's going to get behind you and decide that because you're black, they can harass you, getting anywhere that you want to try to get a loan for something, you want to try to participate in anything in society. The privilege is, as a black person, I never know where I stand. As a non-black, mostly white, you already know. More likely than not, you don't have anything to worry about. And that's what she's talking about here and the whole point of everything.
So, like, when people say that they don't want to have to pay for the consequences of their ancestors, or this isn't 1965, or racism is so long and dead and so long ago we need to let it go, it's in the past, you guys aren't like that. What do you call this type of treatment that we receive? Literally comparing her to the victims of unarmed shooting, drawing swastikas on her stuff, or my situation, like just getting called the hard R over and over and over again, and them laughing the more it happened. Like, it was comical to call me that. How is that different than the 50s, 60s, 40s, and 30s? Like, babes, it's the same. It's just you think it's not that bad because you aren't actively lynching us. We are still getting actively lynched. It's turned into a mysterious suicide or unknown cold case, like that boy who's what did they say? That story about that little black boy who went missing, and then they found him in that gym, and they said that he rolled himself up into that mat. You heard about that story? Like, be so for real. What is the difference between that and what happened to like Emmett Till or any other random black person that just gets killed and it's nothing. It's just swept under the rug. It don't matter. How is that any different? How to say that yes, we can go to schools with y'all and we can vote, making it seem like it's that big of a difference when very well we still get shot in the streets while cops get fucking paid time off for it. We still get harassed by those same students that we should be lucky to go to school with, and then when we don't go to those schools, we get the worst books that you can get, the cheapest shit that they can give you, the least amount of money is provided to our schools. And it's I could keep going, but this video just really made me think about like how the fuck is this any different than the shit my grandma would tell me she had to deal with growing up, getting called tar baby and shit like that. Like, what is really the difference? Especially with the route we are moving forward with. That Sonia Massey situation where that cop flat out murdered her, and you got people coming up with AI videos pretending like she threw some pot of water at him to make up an imaginary justification that's still not a justification, and yet there were people going to back to in droves to try to defend that shit. It's just like, what? That man just flat out murdered her. I'm talking about people talking about there must have been a spirit that possessed him. So when she said she rebuked him, the spirit, and like, no, he was a racist, evil man who works for the cops because that's literally what they've always been and their exact purpose. And he did what the cops always do. Always have been known to do. If I'm not mistaken, that was the whole fucking purpose of the police, was to catch slaves. They were called slave catchers originally. Like, what? And then how many KKK members are in the police force? Like, come on. Really? Like, that video, so many other videos, personal experiences, my own personal experience, it just proves to me that we like to pretend like we are so advanced and so far ahead, but in reality we barely move forward. And if you really think about the grand scheme of like the actual history of us being in this country, it looks like 5 years, 600 years, and it's been what, the past 80-ish years that we've been semi-treated like humans, and we supposed to just act like shit's sweet now? Y'all just got rid of affirmative action. Like, come on. Let's not even talk about the fucking prison to school pipeline or the war on drugs that was really just the CIA pumping drugs to the black communities, and then still telling us like time and time again we supposed to just believe we're just in a much better place, when it's really like, how, when? If it was just what, my grandma's generation, my great grandma's generation, that we even had the freedom of removing the Jim Crow laws, and then it was with my mama's generation, y'all decided to fucking pump us through full of fucking crack. And it's my generation, we just started to get little shit. Like, then when we start getting more representation in television, it's called woke bullshit. Are you serious? When my whole life I've literally grown up watching white folk be the standard for shit, and I'm just starting to see my sisters get that little bit of representation, and it's called woke bullshit. Imagine your existence being called woke bullshit in 2024, and I'm supposed to believe this is that much different than goddamn Martin Luther King in them time, which honestly wasn't even that long ago. This video was not supposed to be that long, but we really ain't made that much progress. We made some progress, but it's not a lot. That's this long ass story short. And this video just made me think of it.
And draw parallels to,
Like, seriously, lovelies, this lady, actually hit the point. Like, she actually made it clear. These people, these anti-race people who probably was actually racist before, please forget the dog, like my dog is barking. So who actually was racist before, all of a sudden they decided that, okay, they have changed, they have repented, and they want to do the anti-racist job, not minding that, oh, this thing that I have done, this thing that I have been doing or that I did before have actually have a negative impact to these people that I did such a thing to. And this would actually grow up to, to have this thing. Like, this actually remind me of a video that I staged. This video was in the comparison of what happened with Sonia Mercy, that made, a lady to actually come out and share her story of what she went through when she was so young, like when she was so young, and she told this story so perfectly. For her to be able to remember the story to tell about her Ray and sis, her encounter with her Ray and sis, is to tell you that she have not even healed. She has not moved on. But these people that does this, they don't know about the repercussion of, or the aftermath of whatsoever thing that they felt that they were doing. Then all of a sudden they grew, they studied, they decided to to like, okay, what I did then was actually wrong. Okay, let me just forget about it and maybe indulge myself in anti-racism job or anti-racism advocacy. Not forgetting that something that you did long ago have already made a negative impact to the third persons, or the person in question. Like, another thing she actually pointed out, that got me thinking, is that, okay, a lot of people were like, racism, slavery, and all of that happened in the past. People have moved on. We are now in the new millennium and all of that, without realizing that even till date, racism, lynching, whatsoever is happening one way or the other. Just look at what is happening about what happened during, Sunni Mercy. Like, the way at which people want to actually justify, especially people actually want to not even some, they have to create some AIs, to try to justify what really happened. Like, the way at which they are trying every possible means, they are trying their best to see if they can sweep all of the things that happen between certain Mercy under the carpet. Like, seriously, this person in question, like, a sister called for help. She called for help, but she never knew that the person that she was actually calling is someone that she is supposed to be very far away from. Like, you are calling help. All your mind, all your thought is that I'm gonna call this person to come help me, without even you realizing that the person you're calling is the person that you should avoid. And he got there, and I just keep on asking myself with all of this thing, like, after they got there and they realized that no one was in the house, nobody was intruding, what made them to proceed? Why did they proceed to go into her home? Why would they even go into her home? Because this woman in question, they saw that she's someone that is not even, like, she has some challenges, and they got there and they saw that nobody was there, so they checked. So why not they turn back? But no, because oh, this black woman, black people and black people problems. And he never even hesitated to just do whatever he wanted to do, that he felt that was right, that he felt that he was gonna do whatsoever and get away. I think that the system have gotten used to them, people like this doing things and getting away with it, because they feel that they are the ones that is in charge. They are the ones that rule. Like, yeah, we rule. There's a video like that. Like, you got in, after which you start asking for ID cards, blah blah. You saw someone that is not even okay. You are the person that told her about a steaming water, that she go put it down or something, and she decided to go put it down. Then she was like, because the way at which you even approach her, she was already getting uncomfortable with you. Then you approach her, you told her to go get the water down, and she wants to get the water down, and proceeded with I rebuke you. How is I rebuke you in the name of God becomes a threat? Like, I don't get it. Because in his new article that surfaced on the internet, he claimed that when she said that I rebuke you, and then he felt that she was threat. Like, I don't get it. You're a man, a huge man with a whip. I don't understand. That is when you have to. I don't get it. She was not even like, and people with their AI videos trying to twist it as if she was trying to pour water on him. Like, seriously. And after all these things, another video surfaced where they were even treating him like he's a VIP. He's treated in a VIP level. And it was said that, oh, he has cancer, cervical cancer. What? I don't understand. And he needs special. Oh my goodness, what are we saying? Black people are still suffering to today. They are still undergoing stuff that their ancestors actually did long time ago. Is it because, okay, let's just say that, okay, they were not locked up, they were not changed, their hands are not chained, and but one way or the other, black people are still not free. They are the kind of people that they can, something can be done and it's been forgot. Like, they'll look for a way to try to like seriously, oh my goodness. When I heard this lady talking, and with the other lady that shared her own experience, with the way at which people invaded their home and tried to like bend them, oh my god, I was like, this is it. These people don't realize the repercussion, the repercussion of all of the things that they have done. Thinking that, okay, all of a sudden, these people, these victims will just forget about it and move on with their life. Like, seriously, lovelies. Anyways, just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying, harassment, or whatsoever. We're just here for educational and informative purposes. So please subscribe if you've not done that already. Share, leave your thoughts, and I will see you lovelies when I upload.
Watch up to this extent. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, share this video, leave a thought in the comment section, and I will see you lovelies when I upload.